Hello students, now there are some questions on the same topic. Some students get confused about the physical state of water at different temperatures. Physical state of water. Number 1, below 0 degrees Celsius. Below 0 degrees Celsius, water is in solid form, that is ice. So it is solid form, that is water is ice below 0 degrees Celsius, and above 100 degrees Celsius water is in gaseous form, that is vapor, in gas form, that is it is vapor. Between 0 degree to 100 degree Celsius means above 0 degree and below 100 degree Celsius. Above 0 degree Celsius and below 100 degrees Celsius. It is in liquid form, that is water which we drink. So these three are clear. Below 0 degree Celsius water is in solid form, that is in ice form. Above 100 degree Celsius water is in the form of vapor. Above 0 degree Celsius and below 100 degree Celsius it is in liquid form. Confusion arises at 0 degree Celsius and 100 degree Celsius. At 0 degree Celsius. At 0 degree Celsius water can be ice, that is solid form, water can be liquid, or water can be in transition phase. So it can be at 0 degree Celsius, it can be ice, that is solid form. It can be water, that is liquid form. And it can be in transition phase. Transition phase means you can say that a mixture of solid and liquid. So you have to remember at 0 degree Celsius water can be in solid form or liquid form or in transition phase, means mixture of solid and liquid form. Mixture of solid and liquid form. Now at 100 degrees Celsius, similarly water can be in the form of vapor, that is steam, that is gas. It can be in the form of liquid, and it can be in transition phase, that is mixture of vapor and liquid. Actually at 0 degree Celsius ice start melting. Some ice may melt and some may not melt, so that is transition phase, and it will continue to melt till whole ice convert into liquid. After melting whole ice, temperature start rising. Therefore always remember these 2 points. At 0 degree Celsius water can be in solid form, can be in liquid form, can be in transition phase, and at 100 degree Celsius it can be in the vapor form, in liquid form, and in transition phase. Now second topic is about dry ice. dry ice. The dry ice is actually solid carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas which is also found in solid form. So it is a sublime substance. Sublime substance. That is, it can be converted directly from solid carbon dioxide to gaseous carbon dioxide and vice versa. And it has very low temperature, minus 78.5 degrees Celsius. It's sublime at minus 78.5 degrees Celsius. So it sublime at minus 78.5 degree Celsius. It is used as a freezing agent. It is used as a freezing agent for frozen foods like that, and it is very dangerous to handle it without any protection. If we handle it without any protection, there may be cold burns due to so low temperature. If we handle them without gloves, then it may stick to our skin or there may be cold burns. So this is about the dry ice. Now question is, next point we can say, which is more effective in cooling. Which is more effective in cooling? Water at 0 degree Celsius or ice at 0 degree Celsius? Question can be like this: which has more energy, or which has more energy at 0 degree Celsius, water or ice? In previous point I have told you that at 0 degree Celsius water can be in solid form, that is in ice form, or it can be in liquid form. Now question is that if at 0 degree both state can occur, so which is more effective in cooling, water or ice? So I have told you about latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion, in this case latent heat of fusion of ice is 3.34 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule per kg. It's mean 1 kg of ice at 0 degree Celsius convert into water by consuming 3.34 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule heat. And water thus formed, that will be also at the 0 degree Celsius. So which has more energy? Say clearly, water at 0 degree Celsius, 1 kg of water at 0 degree Celsius has 3.34 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule more energy. So therefore water has more energy at 0 degree Celsius. It's mean ice is more effective in cooling at 0 degree Celsius. That is 1 kg of water ice convert into water at 0 degree Celsius by consuming 3.34 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule heat. Thus, at 0 degree Celsius, water has more energy, that is ice has less energy. So at 0 degree Celsius, ice is more effective in cooling, as it has less energy. Same question is, which is more effective in heating, water at 100 degree Celsius or steam at 100 degree Celsius? The next question, I shall rub it and write the next question. Like which produce more severe burns, boiling water or steam? We know water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and steam is also at 100 degrees Celsius. So which produce more severe burns, boiling water or steam? Or which is more suitable for heating purposes? Water at 100 degrees Celsius or steam at 100 degrees Celsius? Or question can be that which has more energy, water at 100 degrees Celsius or steam at 100 degrees Celsius? We know that latent heat of vaporization of water is 22.5 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule per kg. It's mean 1 kg of water absorb 22.5 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule heat energy and converts into vapors. It's mean 1 kg of water has this amount of more heat. Therefore, it's mean steam has this amount of more energy, that is water has less energy. Therefore, steam will produce more severe burns because steam has more energy, or steam is more suitable for heating energy because steam has more energy. It means 1 kg of water, that is liquid water, converts from liquid state to vapor, that is steam, by absorbing 22.5 into 10 raised to the power 5 joule of heat energy. So it is clear that steam has more energy as compared to water at the same temperature, that is at 100 degrees Celsius. So steam will produce more severe burns as compared to the boiling water, or steam is suitable for heating purpose. As compared to boiling water. Then next topic, pressure. Its definition is force per unit area. It is force per unit area. That is, pressure is equal to force by area. SI unit of pressure is Pascal, which is denoted by PA. So this subtopic, can matter change its state, has been completed. Now we shall start next subtopic, evaporation. Next subtopic of first chapter, evaporation. Lesson number is 1. Name of the chapter is matter are in surrounding. Subtopic or topic is 5th, evaporation. First point is, what is evaporation? We know boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. That is, water converts from liquid form to gaseous form at 100 degrees Celsius. But in our daily life, we see at various times that water converts into vapor below 100 also. If you keep water uncovered at roof or even in room, it will slowly converts into vapor. This conversion is known as evaporation. So conversion of liquid into vapor below boiling point, it is conversion of any liquid into gas or vapor below its boiling point. So conversion of any liquid into gas or vapor below its boiling point is known as evaporation. For example, conversion of water into vapor below 100 degrees is known as evaporation of water. For example, in our daily life, we see that water kept uncovered slowly convert into vapor even at room temperature or below room temperature. Room temperature or below room temperature. If we keep wet cloth in sunlight or even not in sunlight, then it will become dry due to conversion of water present in them into the vapor. Wet clothes become dry due to conversion of water present in them into vapor below its boiling point. We obtain salt by seawater by the process of evaporation. In this process, salt water is allowed to stand in pits and water evaporates slowly, leaving the salt behind. So all these examples shows that water converts into vapor below its boiling point also. Explanation. What is the reason for this? Reason is that one thing is that evaporation is a surface phenomena. It is a surface property. Particles at the surface, they manage to break force of attraction with the remaining particles and convert into vapor. It is a surface property or phenomena. Water molecules or molecules of any other liquid at the surface having more kinetic energy manage to break force of attraction with rest of particles and convert into vapor. So thus Evaporation is conversion of any liquid into gas or vapor below its boiling point. It can be any temperature below boiling point. However, if temperature increase, rate of evaporation will also increase. And explanation is that particles at the surface which have some high kinetic energy, they break force of attraction with the rest of the particle and convert into vapor. Now we shall study factors responsible for evaporations. Factors responsible for evaporations, or we can say, or factors on which rate of evaporation depend. So we are studying the factors on which rate of evaporation depend. So there are 4 factors on which rate of evaporation depend. First is surface area. Second may be temperature, speed of wind या wind speed, and humidity. These are 4 factors on which rate of evaporation depend. We shall study them one by one. First is surface area. Rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area. Rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area. That is, with the increase of surface area, rate of evaporation increase, and with the decrease of surface area, rate of evaporation decrease. We have seen that we spread the clothes, spread the wet clothes. Why? So that they become dry quickly due to increase in surface area. Or if we drink the tea in cup and plate, tea is hot and we are drinking it in cup, it is very difficult to drink. But if we put the tea into the plate or saucer, then we can easily drink. Reason is that surface area of plate is more as compared to surface area of cup. So that in plate rate of evaporation is more, so tea become cold quickly. Wet clothes become dry quickly if we spread them because increase in surface area. Another factors are temperature, wind and humidity. Next is temperature. Rate of evaporation is directly proportional to temperature. That is, if more temperature, high rate of evaporation; if low temperature, low rate of evaporation. Same example, for example, wet clothes become dry quickly on a hot sunny day due to high temperature. Next is speed of wind or wind speed. Same rate of evaporation is directly proportional to speed of wind. Rate of evaporation is directly proportional to speed of wind. That is, if speed of wind increase, rate of evaporation increase. Last point is humidity. What is humidity? Amount of water or water vapor present in air is called humidity. Rate of evaporation decrease with the increase of humidity and vice versa. Thus we have seen rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area, temperature and wind speed, while rate of evaporation is inversely proportional to humidity. That is, with the increase of any one surface area, temperature and wind speed, rate of evaporation increase, but with the increase of the humidity, rate of evaporation decrease. Thank you.